Hi. About 7 years ago, a woman in Canada gave me an order for a Sgian Dubh. Sgian Dubh, you may ask? What is that? Well, Sgian Dubh is Gaelic for black dagger. It's basically a small knife like this that was worn in the stocking alongside of the ankle in Scottish garb. Well, this woman's daughter was going to marry a Scotsman, and she wanted the Sgian Dubh as a gift for the son-in-law. So I made one for them, and they're very pleased with it. I engraved his name on the blade and everything. It came out very nice. Well, 7 years later, they would like a display box for the Sgian Dubh. Now, I don't have the knife that I made them because I want to make a box and have it molded to the shape of the knife so it look nice. It would fit in there, have nice green flocking inside, that velvety stuff. But without the actual knife, how do I make it so it's going to fit? I cross my fingers. So what I did, I asked them if they could take some photographs of their Sgian Dubh with a ruler alongside of them so that I could get some accurate measurements. So with what they sent me, I think I can make a pretty accurate box. And this is what I have in mind. It's going to be a walnut box with just a lift-off lid. And as you can see on this one here, the cutaway view, the lid will lift off. I'm going to have like a wooden liner inside of here, and the part that will be cut out to mold to be the shape of the knife there. It'll have finger joints like this here. Pretty simple box, nothing too fancy. So that's what we're doing now, and we show you step by step how it goes. Well, I've cut all my pieces for the box, and what I did, I cut them a little bit oversized on the width. What I'm going to do, as I said earlier, I'm going to do finger joints, which are interlocking corner joints like this here. And sometimes they will come out uneven at the ends, so that's why I'm going to cut them a little bit wider, and I can trim them down to the exact width that I want. Now to cut those finger joints, I made this jig up here, pretty simple. It's got two runners that are right in the slots of the saw here. And there's this little piece that will index each one of those as I cut them. You'll see that in a second here. So basically I take my first piece and I'll butt it against this block here. I'll make a cut and then I'll index it over each time. corresponding pieces will be set up differently. What I'll do is I'll set this down like this, and then butt the next piece right up against there, and then make my cut that way and do the same thing. And when we're all done, everything should interlock nicely. As I said, I cut these things a little bit oversized, so if I get, like at the end here, a small, like a parcel, I can trim that off, and I'll rip it down to the exact width I need, going to the correct notch at that time. That's how we'll do that. Well, I got the finger joints cut, and it's time to assemble the box. I was a little bit concerned, being rather on the flimsy side, I was rather concerned about getting it square, but I found this old jig I had from a different project, which has nice square sides on it. So basically I can just put it together, fit it right in. It's almost exactly the right size there. I can push it down this way, push it to one side, and it'll come out nice and square. So first we apply the glue. We'll take two sides. And I don't need too much glue on these finger joints, because it's a pretty tight fitting type of joint. I'm just going to try to brush a little bit in the fingers there. Make sure I get the right size here. I'm going to just have to wash off a lot of this glue here afterwards. A little bit on the corresponding piece. These two will fit together like this here, and then I'll just get a cloth and wipe off the excess. And when I push it into my mold here, everything will be nice and square. Pretty good. Now we just cut it to length. Should be just about right. Let's see how she fits. A little bit of finessing here, and I think we got it. We have to shave one side just a little bit here. Otherwise, that's a perfect fit. Well, the bottom came out good. It's perfect fit, nice and flush. Now let's see if we can get a couple for the top. Got this other piece here. Okay, now we're going to glue the top onto the frame of the top. Get a little bit of glue on there. That should take care of that. After looking at the box, I gave it a little thought and decided it looked a little bit plain, just a square box, so I thought I would add these little feet to the bottom just to give it a little bit more definition. I think it's just the touch that it needed. Well, I've got these legs here. What I did, I rigged up something with my Dremel here to cut out this little curve here on the inside. So when these are on the box, they'll look something like this here. See, the cutout will give it a little bit more. It'll look nicer than if it were just cut off square. So what I'm doing now is just kind of dressing them up, sanding down the corners here a little bit. And then what I do on the mitered corners here, if there's any gap or irregularity, I take a burnisher and I basically just press this in and it basically closes up the gap. Well, I got the feet glued onto the box here. It came out pretty nice. I think it just adds a nice little accent to the box and looks pretty good. Okay, we're going to put a little stain on this box and see how she comes out. It's a walnut stain. And I've used this in other projects before, and it's really nice color to it. You see the color looks pretty nice. Wipe off the excess. We'll see how she looks. And there's the cover. Now we move on to the box itself. What I've done is where the lid slides over here, I want to keep that wood raw. White, it's a white colored wood, just for contrast on there. I don't want to get any stain on that. And inside is going to have the green flocking. So I've got that masked off. We'll do everything else beside that. And again, we're not doing the inside of the box because it'll all be covered and hidden with the flocking. Well, that does it for that. I'm pretty pleased with the color. It looks very good. So I think we can get away with just this one coat on here without darkening it at all. Now the next step will be to glue on the letters of the name that are going onto the cover itself. After that's done, then we put the final coat of finish on there, and the outside of the box will be done. What I'm going to do next is take these letters that I cut out and I'm putting on a printout of the name, and this will help me with the spacing. So I'll lay each letter onto its corresponding printout letter, and then what I'll do, I'll lay a piece of tape over the top to hold them in place, tip them over, apply glue, and then apply the letters to the cover of the box. Well, that's pretty close. So next I'll get a piece of masking tape and carefully lay it over the top of these letters. Now you can see the letters are spaced the way I want them to be. So what I'll do next is I'll carefully apply glue to the back side of these letters and then just carefully locate them on the cover of the box like this. Well, the next step is to, I want to build up a little block of foam to put inside of here. This will be carved out to the shape of the Sgian Dubh. Again, this is mine. This is not the one that will fit in here. I have to do something different for that. But this will be cut out so it'll be molded to the shape of the knife. And then this will be fit down inside of here. And then we'll put the green flocking over the top of it. I had to glue up a couple pieces of this foam to get the correct thickness. One thickness by itself was not quite deep enough, so I had to cut two of them, then rip one down, and this will give me the thickness that I want. So I just need to let this glue dry up, and then we'll glue this in place, and I'll be ready for the next step. Well, the next step is to create a pattern to draw the Sgian Dubh shape onto the foam block that I glued up. Now, I determined from the photographs from the customer that the total length is 8 inches. So what I did on a piece of paper, and if you can see that, I drew 8 inches on here. Now, there's a certain app that I have here will allow me to superimpose a photograph of the Sgian Dubh onto the paper. Now, you can see here that it's, according to the ruler, that it's 8 inches overall. So if I turn the transparency down a little bit, you can see, if you can see the two of them, it's kind of hard to see. You can see my guidelines on the paper, 8 inches, and the superimposed photograph the same size, so I can draw an accurate scaled photo, sketch from the photo onto a piece of paper, which I can use as my pattern. And this, the photograph is locked to the paper, so I can expand this as large as I need to, and nothing moves. As you can see here, it's still 8 inches and 8 inches there. So I basically just take my pencil and I can trace right around and get an accurate drawing to scale of the Sgian Dubh. It's a little bit hard to see, but I can adjust the transparency. So basically, that's what we're going to do. Well, I just got the second coat of the green paint on the inside here. Now we're ready to apply the flocking. One little thing I've got to touch up here a little bit. There. They have special flocking tools that you can use. But basically, I do a simple method of basically just putting a quantity of it inside of the box that I'm working on. Cover on, shake it up all different directions so everything is completely coated. All the paint is coated. Gotta shake it left, shake it right, forward, backwards, upside down, inside out. Looks like everything is coated pretty well. I just have to dump this excess back out. See if I can pour it directly into the bag here. In a small box, I might be able to do that. If not, we'll have to do something different. Well, looks like we're getting most of it. And there you go. We'll just let that dry up now. Let's paint's dry. We'll let it dry overnight and blow it out again tomorrow. Get rid of the excess. And then we'll be all set. Let's get this thing in the mail to Canada.